these teams gets the greater contribution from their 4 has a huge edge.
Do you agree, disagree?
No, I agree, but at the same time, I think draft is going to determine a lot of it because they need heroes that can enable other heroes. For example, we talked about how EG, their problem right now, they need an offlaner or a mid player, or a mid laner, I should say, like an Ember Spear or a Puck, that will enable their supports to make plays. Because if you pick 3 independent heroes that all need farm, then your 2 supports are just standing around saying, like, what is my purpose in this game? Do I just watch you farm? Do I not do anything for 40 minutes? Like, tell me. And it's really confusing for everyone involved.
What would you like to see them play?
I'd like to see them play Ember, Puck. I'd like to see them go back to those kinds of heroes because somebody needs to give up their game a little bit. And I think it has to be Sumail, who has to play that role to play playmaker. Yes. Okay. He can't be this farming style Storm Street or anything like that. I think he has to play the Puck or the Ember for this team to work.
Okay. What would you like to see RTZ play as a complementary core rather than a selfish core?
I actually think he should go the other way and just like go full on green.
Just go all in.
Pick AM every single game. Go for a 50-minute game. Ask your team for Magnus.
It's interesting because, as Paul alluded to, that was correct earlier, that the direction they've gone is to move Artur to more of the tempo carries and put Sumail, keep Sumail on his heavy farming heroes.
Yeah.
You think that's been a mistake?
I mean, the problem is that they're like not fully committing towards doing that. They're like kind of halfway into that. They're dipping their toes and they're like, we know this is the right direction to go in, but it's not exactly what we want to do. And off the bat, EG grabbed the hero that I think every team thinks might be the best hero right now overall.
Yeah. No, the Night Stalker, I believe, is 14-7 in Dota Pro Circuit LAN play so far. Is also one of the top most banned heroes. You know, just a great hero to pick up in your first phase. But then again, you are giving Newbee the Earth Spirit, which Kaka has improved on just tremendously.
Yeah. But I think you're okay with that trade because you're getting a Night Stalker, and the hero that I'm expecting to see between both of these teams contested is Jakiro and Puck.
Yeah, I was going to say Jakiro's going to be the toughest one, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because they both prioritise. I mean, EG very much so. They seem to have won almost all the games when they've had the Jakiro in.
They really like the setup. Before, when they couldn't get heroes like NS, it was Spirit Breaker plus Jakiro was their first 2 opener, which is a really safe one overall. It doesn't really hide or give away too much. It just kind of leaves everything a little bit open.
So I'd really like to see Mugi back on melee tempo carries like the Bloodseeker, like the Ursa that we saw yesterday. I like him on those heroes because I think, again, EG is tending to play these slower lineups where they're waiting for multiple cores to come online, and there's the Bloodseeker from Mugi. They showed at TI that they will punish slow tempo with this hero so effectively. What do you think EG come back with here, buddy?
I don't know. This is probably a little bit unexpected. Not by you, of course, who saw the Bloodseeker.
5 seconds remaining.
Early on. I think Jakiro is still like an okay play.
I think you could maybe. Wow!
That was the other hero.
Okay, so I actually was going to bring this up with you because, you know, as we saw in the last match, just Monkey King against your melee core in lane can just be soul crushing, and even Bloodseeker, who, you know, there aren't too many heroes that can just totally shut a Bloodseeker down. Monkey King, you have to have a plan to help this lane. Now, the Earth Spirit does give you some built-in insurance, but that's a good reply.
Yeah. Really nice laner overall. Can go anywhere right now. They have 2 people that can play it. I'd imagine that Universe could play it as well. I think I have seen him play it in pubs before.
And I really do like the Lone Druid ban coming out of Newbee. The thing right about EG we've talked about, it's just too many cores to create space for. Lone Druid is a hero that they've put RTZ on, including yesterday in this tournament.
Yep.
And the idea is it's the dead lane concept from Liquid. Takes a lot of resources to gank that hero. Doesn't need to be babysat. I like the idea that Newbee's thinking about taking that out.
Newbee's turn to ban.
They ban Ench?
Yep.
That's pretty curious.
Well, it's, yeah, that EG would do it is actually quite curious. Because Newbee does not like that hero off lane, and Kaka's role is already chosen for the Earth Spirit.
5 seconds remaining.
So you ban Lone Druid, you still, okay, they ban Bad Rider. Which is weird, because you can take it yourself it's quite nice against the Monkey King.
Yeah.
I guess it works both ways though, because it's really annoying to play against as a Bloodseeker as well.
Both of those last two bans have thrown me a little bit.
10 seconds
Trying to look ahead in the draft here about what are you looking at picking that those heroes counter.
Is Bane still available, by the way?
Yes.
Oh, Jakiro was first two banned, right, by Newbee?
Yeah, a little hard for me to see that screen, but the Bane is still in the pool. The Veno is gone, that's another hero I was going to talk about, as both of these teams have shown strong tendencies to first phase that hero.
Yeah. There's still Puck available too for both sides. As an option, you've got Mirana.
Kind of like Puck as a block pick here for Newbee.
I'm okay with Puck, Mirana. You can take your own Bane. We've seen the prevalence of like these pure 5 positions fade a little, but I think Bane is still really strong. Haven't seen anyone pick Lich in a while.
The other thing that Newbee has been doing really well lately, they've been putting, their drafts sort of go in two directions. They will put faith either on a lane dominator like a Lich or on a hero like a Shadow Shaman or a Jakiro that has some push potential at the support position. The one thing I think, you look at Newbee right now, the Bloodseeker of course can hit buildings, but you don't have that wave clear / tower threat from your support position. So your last 2 picks as Newbee really do need to check that box of tower pressure.
I like that Lich pick a lot. I think it's quite good against the Monkey King. It's annoying for him to play against, but EG does eventually take the Bane. Yeah, so
let's do something dumb, and let's assume for right now that it's going to be a Lich Bloodseeker dual mid against a Monkey King Bane dual mid. How do you break down that lane? Monkey King still advantage?
I think MK's advantage, but I think that for that reason alone, you probably dodge that.
Okay. I always wonder based on that, because in the 1v1, obviously Monkey King crushes, but then once you factor in the Lich denies.
Yeah. I'm down to see something like Sniper. Just like...
That'd actually be sick. For SCCC?
Yeah, for Newbee.
Yeah. I think that checks that box of a hero that can threaten towers quite nicely. The DP would have been great, which is exactly why EG banned it.
But Newbee, they often like leaving their mid hero towards like the very, very end, so he gets the best possible matchup. But Bloodseeker plus Sniper has really nice synergy.
Whoa, that's a KP Centaur, boys. Okay. Huh.
That Sniper Ghoul's not a bad one either. SCC's 3rd most played hero in this current patch.
Yeah.
Oh, and he farms his face off with that hero.
So EG might be reluctant to pick the Puck because they see the Earth Spirit on the other side.
5 seconds remaining.
I'd imagine, unless they were doing the off-lane universe Bane, or the safe lane universe Bane that we've seen in the past. I'm trying to think of what the heroes are that are available. I think you need probably another follow-up or something to start the fight.
Okay. So this is really nice in that we are still, technically on the EG side, we're still very open as far as our lanes.
Super open.
Yep. This could still be, it's more than likely going to be a Pugnacore at this point. But it also takes a hero off the table for Newbee that could have given them that pushing presence. And I really do. I mean, the big need for Newbee, you got to pick an SCCC hero that threatens towers. You can always kind of default back to the Queen of Pain, and they're going to go ahead and take out the Puck themselves, I believe. You can always default back to the SCCC Queen of Pain, his best hero, but I'm not sure that gives you enough push.
Yeah, I would like to see Sniper on one side, and for EG something like Ember.
Okay.
Just another additional form of catch.
So if it's Ember, you think that that's a universe Pugna?
Yeah.
Okay.
Safe lane MK.
Okay. I'm down with that.
Unless they do something really wild, but I don't know if they'll do it. Do like Shaker mid. But I don't think I'm okay with that.
I don't know, actually. I'm kind of down with that here. Newbee doesn't really have... Newbee has no range damage.
Yeah, but the problem is that you'd be running it against a dual lane, and ideally, you like to have 2 range heroes. Or something that can pressure a little bit harder than that. Because you know that you're going to be likely Lich +1.
Okay. Yeah.
I was a really big fan of the sniper though.
Turn to pick.
I think it works really nicely. It probably fills in a lot of Newbee's issues. It's a hero that hits the Pugna ward, that doesn't really care about the Pugna ward. He plays the range game too.
Yeah, I think you can queen here as EG as well.
Against Blood Earth, it's pretty annoying.
It's pretty annoying, but I think it checks. It gives you that team fight AoE. I guess you've got that a bit from the Pugna, but I still want a little more AoE damage if I'm EG.
I thought they were just gonna take something like Ember and run at them.
Well, that checks the box too. Ember's through triple remnant combos, plenty AoE damage in itself.
Yeah. But EG letting time get pretty low here.
They're gonna queen. Okay, I agree with what I really do agree with what Blitz said, that Rupture and the long range initiation potential of the Earth Spirit very annoying for that hero, but I feel like it fits the lineup really well.
Yeah. So you have two options as Newbee. You can take something like the Sniper and just straight up dual lane this Queen of Pain, or you can move the Bloodseeker mid with the Lich and get something that works well against the Pugna at bottom.
Yeah, I don't think you can take another melee here like an Alk. It's almost got to be something ranged like a Sniper. Although I've seen them Alk in similar spots before. They have a lot of faith in that Lich to change that mathematics of the dual lane matchup.
You could do like, I don't know, EG have pretty good control. They don't have the best like straight up lockdown though. So I was thinking for a sec.
Dragonet, okay. So
that's their tower hitter?
Yeah, it's their tower hitter, and it requires a lot less to come online with the Alk, and it's even more tanky in the early going. So while the Monkey King eats 1v1 melee cores in the standard matchup, between the Lich being there, all the extra sustain, the regen and armor of the Dragon King passive in the early game, it makes that laning matchup not so bad for the side of Newbee. I still think I favor the EG draft.
Yeah, I think the Pugna's going to be really annoying.
Not convinced though.
I'm not. No, this is not an outdraft by any means. I put this as like 55-45 EG.
Okay. Will?
I'll go with Newbee.
Why?
I think that as long as their Centaur has any sort of game, they're going to have the jump. I think their team fight might be a little bit better.
Good stuff. Thank you very much, both of you. Welcome, everyone. If you're just joining us, the ESL One Hamburg, you've joined us just in time because EG versus Newbee is about to begin.
Just in time, it is the time. Newbee versus Evil Geniuses. I'm Toby1, here with the amazing, the wonderful, the talented Cinderin as my co-caster. You ready for this matchup?
That's a little bit too much. I'm ready.
You want a little bit too much?
I'm definitely ready. This looks like
you're so humble. So humble, Cinderin.
You're just a bit too much. You can't say no to that.
I really can't. I admit what I am, and I'm loving it.
So I'm looking forward to this game. First of all, like they pointed out on the panel, there's a lot of history between these teams, but we also get to see some slightly different heroes in this game than what we've seen quite a lot of. We haven't seen very much Pugna this tournament. I don't even know if we've seen it, to be honest. I think this is the first Pugna pick. We have a Queen of Pain that's been picked once or twice, not very represented. I feel like this is the first Dragon Knight. First Centaur, I'm more or less positive that's the first Centaur. So it's like the first appearance of 4 heroes in this one single game. That's always great to see.
Yeah, but some of these heroes you're starting to mention too are very comfort style heroes, like Nahaz was pointing out. KP, very well known for his Centaur play. We were looking actually towards SECZ, who will be comfortable on the DK, but do you think he's going to do enough in that mid role? Because we were talking about other options like a Sniper, for example, being a really nice choice, having some level of range. Are you concerned about Newbee's like 4 melee with a 1 hybrid range lineup?
I think the Dragon Knight is going to... It's one of those games that's a bit hard to call because he has one, I think, really bad matchup, but the rest of them are pretty good. Dragon Knight is good against Queen of Pain. I think Dragon Knight is fine against Pugna, especially when he gets BKB. That's a hero, an item the hero generally wants to get. But the Monkey King lane matchup is really bad. So we'll see. It doesn't look like he's even going to have that lane matchup. He will be playing against the Quap, which traditionally, if you look back like 2 years, that was maybe a very Quap favorite matchup. Nowadays, they generally tend to just break even. So I think SCC will be just fine. As far as a favorite for this game, I'm a bit bigger fan of the Newbee's draft. I think Evil Geniuses will have a harder time if this game goes later on into the game, and I don't really like the composition they have with Night Stalker in particular. I feel like this lineup that they have doesn't utilize Night Stalker's full potential the way I see it.
It does also seem a little bit fun too with the two heroes roaming around, having Bane moving off the lanes. This is allowing Universe just to have that solo lane down the bottom. But do you feel like Crit, like he's doing a fair job of harassment up on this top? Does this all come to a grinding halt now that Lich has TP'd to the top lane to change the balance? Like, is this still going to be what EG want from their early laning phase?
I think so. I feel like this is probably the best laning they can put. Like Blitz pointed out, you probably can't give all three players a good game, but you can try to get some good lane matchups, and this is already a pretty good... Oh, nice dodge here from Arteezy. This is a good lane matchup. He's playing against a melee core and a melee support currently with his Monkey King, so he's going to have a great time. And if Newbee are just safe lane tri-laning, then this mid lane, they should lose 2-on-1 at least with a Bane Quap against Dragon Knight, and this gives Pugna a better time as well. Pugna is a hero that loves one-on-one matchups, especially in his own safe lane. You're seeing Universe having a great start here, 7 CS, 8 CS now, against the Bloodseeker.
Yep, fantastic for him. And, well, Mugi, a little bit more trouble with the equilibrium when that lane gets pulled off to the side. I'm interested to watch Karkar's movement. Like he's kind of like a big one for me. Like Fear and Karkar coming holding hands a little bit more. At the same time, you got Night Stalker playing around up inside the jungle. Faith moving down to rolling boulder. Karkar actually dodging Crit, who was battling it out with Faith, but now they decide to turn. But the Hawk Stomp's there from KP, connecting on both Crit and Fear, giving KP the first blood. They do pull him off the top lane, but in return for the first blood, Newbee should still be happy with this.
It's a big rotation, but First Blood obviously has that extra value. If that was just a regular kill on a support, but not the First Blood, I actually don't think that's worth it. But getting the extra First Blood money is good enough. Now, EG seem to be having a really good time in their lanes in this beginning here. The Queen of Pain is doing, obviously, doubling up Dragon Knight here. That's just a result of Bane's presence in the lane in the beginning, and because of that, Fear feels confident to move away and just leave Sumail alone now with that head start. The Pugna in bottom might be in trouble here. Earth Spirit did probably not connect that roll, actually, judging from it. I think Earth just tried but didn't make anything of it. And in the meantime, the top lane, Centaur will be having the hardest game of Newbee's course, is fair to say. This lane is very difficult. First of all, even if it's one-on-one now, Monkey King will destroy him, but it's not even one-on-one. They're really going hard on KP.
Yeah, they brought both Bane as well as Night Stalker towards the top lane. Even without nighttime, they have a creep wave under the tower. It's not going to last much longer, however, as they have decided to try and pull a little bit. And FaZe just abandoned it, so they've accepted the fact that KP will just have a hard time. It ensures a little bit more of a presence here for SCCC to battle against Sumail. Of course, another reason too why we probably see Sumail in that mid is he's so comfortable. 1 in the mid roll, but 2 on that Queen of Pain. So even if the matchup isn't favorable, Sumail will still want it. These other lanes, Newbee, kind of need to bring something back, but their lineup's pretty passive until you see that movement from Karkar really have some level of an effect. But at the moment, he's just bounty hunting. Crit and KP compete for the top one.
Nighttime. He doesn't want to fight him there.
Yep.
This Night Stalker, it's very important for this hero, in my opinion, to get at least 1 bounty rune every 2 minutes. The hero is very snowbally by nature, and I believe Crit got the set 2-minute rune, at least one of them, and now he just got the 4-minute rune. So that should close him in here on level 3. And you want to hit the level 3 before minute 5 if possible. It gives you the choice between getting the silence or 2 levels in your nuke. And it opens up a lot of kill potential in pretty much all of the lanes. So that's one aspect of Night Stalker that I like this game. He has lanes he can gank for. He can gank for somewhat gank for a Pugna as well. But later on into the game, EG's lineup, not the most teamfight prowess, I think. It's a bit hard to imagine exactly how they initiate team fights unless they get a really, really good stun from the Monkey.
Yeah.
So.
And they'll need that too. Like having Stampede to get like Newbee out of jail free,
Yeah.
NewBee do have the other downside, however, where they're bringing in a lot of melee heroes into a Wukong command. And with the start, which we've seen onto Arteezy, this is a perfect situation for Evil Geniuses in that early fight if NewBee do want to force it. But did NewBee even force it? Like, you can just Frost Armor up towers, make it difficult for EG to push, and then you use your Dragon Form to push as well on your side. Like, is it just this passive kind of start to the game, which both sides are happy to accept?
Yeah, and is Dragon Knight a melee hero? It's one of the questions you gotta ask yourself as well.
Yeah.
Like, I think of the hero as a ranged hero, because the majority of what it does in the game is in ranged form. It's melee in the lane, but every single play you make in the mid-late game as Dragon Knight always revolves around your ultimate. So it's a weird matchup with Monkey King, because like if he was facing him in lane, that's really annoying. But later on into the game, it's like you have high armor.
Oh, KP's so toast. Nightmare will allow Crit to reposition, allow Arteezy to move over, and there is no one coming to help KP.
Fear gets the kill.
Yep. And again, NewBee. Not really reacting, they're just enjoying taking these 6-minute bounty runes for the ES every single time. It's the only way he's really finding experience, because there's just no influence for Kaka. Like, with 6 minutes in, he missed a rolling boulder up on top, he looked at the middle lane, and the rest of the time, he's currently studying Bark.
They can't kill mid until Earthspirit's level 4. Unless he went 1-on-1 build, in which case they could have maybe done it with the Dragon Form. Dragon Knight will be hitting 6 in just a moment. Rupture. Universe.
Now we see Kaka having a little bit of fun. The kick doesn't actually kick through. It only clears the tree lines. So Universe can just stand exactly where he is. Kaka needs to TP up, but when Fear's in the neighborhood and Crit takes flight, Kaka knows he is toast.
That's a pretty even trade overall. You force 2 support TPs, so should open up the map a little bit to NewBee. But the thing is, well,
where's KP? He's not even making the most of the space on top.
Like, that's the issue here, is that even those 2 supports moving bottom, usually you're, as the aggressing team there, you force 2 TPs, that opens up your lanes, but the lane mesh up top is the bad one. So Monkey doesn't even want to go, or rather the Centaur doesn't even want to go there anyway. So what did they really accomplish? They just lost the support without opening up anything meaningful.
Yep. Instead, they send ES up there, so he ends up taking like half of a creep wave worth of farm, as well as a bounty rune. Moogie, a little bit more trouble. The Nightmare taken off him, and then the TP out. The time for Moogie. Not enough. Crit will find the kill, and Faith will complete his TP after the Nightmare wears off. But the Nightmare is really only just beginning. Evil Genius is getting back-to-back kills, 3-1 on the board, 7.5 minutes in. The lanes, the top 3 in the CS almost belong to Evil Geniuses, but it's the big ones, which is Arteezy as well as Samael, who are currently being enabled with 48-ish CS each.
EG should be very happy with the state of the game right now. They obviously cannot see these stats, but they have the top 2, and the hero that they are quote-unquote sacrificing is also having a pretty good game. Like, this Pugna is by no means struggling. So they've kind of managed to make a game for all 3 of their cores already. And what they're really taking advantage of is this support duo of NewBee. We haven't really talked about it too much, but you said it's hard for Earthspirit to find openings. It's in part because it's very hard for Earthspirit to gank the lane for Bloodseeker. Those 2 heroes just don't have immediate synergy at this stage in the game. They do later. And if your other support is a Lich, that hero has very little kill potential, except in that lane is just parked in. So they don't really have any initiation potential, and that means EG feel confident farming aggressively and making the moves themselves, especially at nighttime.
Kaka hiding. That's all he can really do. At least he can soak experience up here, but there's no way they can defend that top tower. And it's a very odd position to check. KP nightmared up after being voided with Decrepify amplification. KP, normally you'd think a Centaur is rather tanky. In that case, he just looked like hot butter.
I like this move from NewBee overall, though, what they did. They realized they're losing their safe lane tower, so they immediately make a rotation to the enemy safe lane tower to get the even trade-off. They do use the Dragon Form in the process and are still taking serious damage on mid. I don't think there was a better move available.
Stun onto Samael. SCC, Moogie in through the rear. They've ruptured him up. Samael can't escape. The blink ends up killing him. Tried to do the bit of a step blink first. Will fail on that, and well, NewBee. Not only do they defend their mid tower, which was difficult for EG to attack with the Frost Armor on it, they also get the kill on the big mid of EG.
And that was the big point that I mentioned earlier, Earthspirit getting level 4. He was actually 5 here, but the silence is really big. I think a lot of people don't realize how good this spell is in level 1. The silence of Earthspirit is actually a 2.5 second silence. The damage is pretty insignificant, but for killing a hero like Queen of Pain, this spell is extremely powerful. Oh, he's gonna find another hero here. It's Arteezy. I don't know if they They have to get away here, actually.
They're stampeding away from him. He's got a lot of damage. Faith, it's like they're trying to bait it out. Support's coming in. Because he's so low, we've got the train wreck of Mugi. A quick frost to mail in through the rear. Sonic Waves! He gets Kaka as well as Faith together. Mugi, well, is it worth it? Is Arteezy really worth it? While Universe killed off KP overall? Nope.
If they would have lost 2 supports for Arteezy kill, I think it's pretty even. But losing the Centaur again, he is having a really hard time. We're 10 minutes in, he has a net worth of 2,500, so long way away from the Blink Dagger.
It's his net worth and it's his level. Like, when I was looking at before, like, he was 2 levels behind that of the Pugna. When you want to compare him, he's only just hit level 6. At least his Stampede's had some level of an influence, but he's 3 levels behind his counterpart, Universe.
And he's such an important part of this Dire lineup. So what I like about Newbee's lineup's ability in the mid game is that they have multiple ways of initiating. They have the Dragon Knight, who's probably going to get a Shadow Blade or a Blink Dagger. They're going to have a Blink Dagger on Centaur, and they have the Earth Spirit. And it's really nice to play Earth Spirit if there's another hero that can start the fight for you. We're actually going to see that here, possibly.
They needed his stun. They're going to be able to get it. Now the Nightmare switched off. Dragon Form is up, and Rupture again going to work. Arteezy has to stand its ground. The Lich Ulti bouncing up to crit. Is it going to come back off the creep wave and into the heroes? Not just yet. It's only going to balance into
most unlucky chain ever.
It is so bad for them. And now KP, decrepified and blasted, loses half of his life with just that one blast. Faith, he did not pray to Gaben this morning.
Great fight, everybody. Nobody died. I have Faith cannot. You know, it's just one of those moments where you're like, you know, man, that sucks. I think the Chain Frost attempt there was very good. The real problem for Newbee in order to get a better fight than that is I think Kaka seemed a little indecisive. He was a bit slow on the kick, uncharacteristic for him, waited an extra half second, and as a result, EG got to react a little bit better and spread out.
Yeah, Fierce Nightmare, that get out of jail free card. KP has to defensively stampede away from Universe.
So I think at this point, obviously this does not look too good for Newbee, but the thing... Oh, yeah.
Yep, they're having a little bit of fun here with that CCC. Kaka, can you create enough space here? Faith to
Kick him away!
There's a quick frost, there's a kick up. He's still ticking down, but the 2 points up in Dragon Blood, he'll reach the shrine, which actually is not available. So Sumail will end up just popping him. That shrine had another 130 seconds on it. It was nowhere near.
It's a good sign that I don't get to finish my points. That's a very good sign for EG. That means they're playing aggressively and making moves all the time. So I can barely string 2 sentences together before they make their next aggressive move.
You gotta stop wasting time talking about it.
I guess so. That's the tier 1 tower down, so EG gets that as well. Newbee have to get a means of initiation that's not the Earth Spirit. They need the Blink Dagger on Dragon Knight or Blink Dagger on Centaur so that Earth Spirit can be a follow-up. It's a lot harder to play Earth Spirit as the primary engage, because when you roll in, if your roll misses or if you're not in a great position to kick, it's very hard to hit multiple targets, and he can instantly get counterplayed. If this Earth Spirit rolls in, he's going to get nightmared, or he's going to get silenced by the Night Stalker, or he's going to even just, you know, just get turned on. He's not very tanky as a hero right now compared to the other heroes they have. So
well, your double blink's going to take some time, mainly because Centaur's the only one building it. It drums is in the quick buy for the DK. So yeah. At the moment, it appears like Newbee will just play reactionary Dota.
That's very difficult against Night Stalker.
That it is, especially during this nighttime phase. Arteezy's looking for ability just to gank, but he'll jump down to the creep wave. Kaka.
He's pretending he didn't see him. I like this play.
I see nothing. Rolling boulder forward. There is support in the neighborhood. Fear and Sumail ready to engage. There's a stampede forward, but Mugi locked down. Fear's got the Fiend's grip on him. Wukong Commander's out, and Mugi, he just doesn't have enough space. This time the Lich ulti, it can only bounce between the hero and the creep, and that's going to absolutely wreck Fear with the help of the dragon. Arteezy wants to move and stay inside that Wukong's command. Now it will wear off, so looking for another target, but who does Newbee go on? They look to Sumail, but Sumail blinks himself over to the lane, and Newbee have no vision on anyone until Crit walks underneath that dire observer ward, but with no blink daggers, no high maneuverability, they cannot keep the chase going. EG get away with murder.
And that's what happens if Earth Spirit is the one initiating, right? Like, he goes in, he wasn't the one dying, but the moment he has rolled in, what's the chase potential of this dire lineup? They use the Stampede and the roll to begin the fight. The moment they've done that, they have nothing left in the tank. Bloodseeker died, nobody's going to catch anyone on the way out, e.g. easy disengage, and get a bottom tier 1 tower. So extending their lead, they have the top 3 net worths on the board. And I'm looking at this Newbee lineup and what they can do, and it's still, I just struggle to see it until they have a blink initiate. It doesn't have to be, like you were saying, both blinks. I don't think they need that, but they need one, and they need it soon. Because this game is going to keep snowballing like this in EG's favor as long as they don't make big mistakes.
Well, that's not a nice stat to have up. for SCCC, one of his statistically worst heroes. DK is in that list. But for now, Newbee grouping up. There is a nice observer ward from Evil Genius. Has been watching this quite closely. Kaka again. He is really becoming one with the trees. Gets the silence. Doesn't, however, get the follow-up kick into Samael, who is threatening to blink away. Stampede already burned by Newbee. And the Nightmare is problematic for Bloodseeker. He's ready to be controlled. Fear. He doesn't have the Fiend's grip up just yet. Mugi is low, but the slap from Arteezy. 3 heroes caught, allowing Universe to the 5 blast and the 3-man Sonic Wave. It lacquers beautifully. This time, however, the Lich Chain Frost doing some work. Evil Jesus, the damage they weren't really expecting, but maybe they just have enough to survive anyway. Arteezy ready to battle, looking to close the distance on the final surviving member of Newbee. Or does the Universe try and do it solo? He can only decrepify to slow down. Now he actually has that Soul Ring off cooldown. Mana is back, but SEC, he'll kill off Arteezy, who came back into the fight. The drain isn't enough to bring down this 4-point Dragon Blood Knight. He's able to just survive and survive, and Evil Geniuses end up actually balancing this fight by feeding the Monkey King in.
That's a big kill for the Dragon Knight to get. That was an EG favorite fight until Arteezy died, and that 1 kill is enough to get the Dragon Knight only 1k away from the blink. Previously, EG had the top 3 net worth. Now they barely have the top 1 anymore. He's only 200 behind the Quap. And that fight, for me, from Newbee's side, is all faith. He got a fantastic Chain Frost that I think it bounced like 8 times between heroes. Obviously, what's setting it up is a good stun. But he was in the right position to not get caught, did not get silenced, and I think there was also a pretty clutch silence from Earth Spirit, I believe, onto the Queen of Pain. Samael was mid-animation on Sonic and got cancelled. That's why they got the Shrine off and actually extended the fight long enough for that Chain Frost. So a couple of nice details there from Newbee, allowing them to not get wiped.
It's a good fight to add to the highlight reel and check again later.
Yep.
That Blink Dagger is now up, so KP was able to afford it first. So 17 minutes into the game, the Blink Dagger is now up for Newbee. And this is that time, it always feels too when Newbee run this Earth Spirit. Kaka ineffective in the first like 5 to 10 minutes, and then all of a sudden everything just starts hitting. The levels come up, and he gets his cores actually being that front liner, which is exactly what's going to happen in this game. Maybe making space where Mugi can do something. He's still, as far as the 3 cores of EG, underneath them in net worth, but a couple of kills, some good ruptures, and they can close the distance. And maybe Rupture Kick, get that Monkey King out of his Wukong command, allow Newbee to move forward.
That's a very good point about Earth Spirit as a hero. It actually has 3 counters to Monkey King. It's not the easiest ones. I think the silence is out of all of them. Oh, yeah. No, don't worry about it, Toby. I'll tell you later.
Stampede is up. Hey, you're never going to finish a thought. Now KP jumps in. They look to go in. The perfect kick and the follow-up from SCCC. Critter, no chance of surviving. Arteezy. Wukong Commander's up. He's right on the edge of it, however. Have they got any way to get him out? No, they don't. Not when SCCC is trapped in by the Fiend script. KP will jump back in once more with the Magnetize. The slow tick damage onto EG is so high, and now a great jump away. At least Samael makes sure the Chain Frost won't continue to bounce, allowing Universe and Samael to turn around into Mugi, bringing down a 3-for-3 fight. Only the supports of Newbee survive.
Great Fiend script from Fear. I think that's the saving grace. They still, I think, end up getting a bit of a net loss. No, that's even. Okay. 100 gold win for EG. Whoop-de-doo. But you saw how tanky that Dragon Knight was. And that's got to be concerning. When he gets a Blink Dagger and he can just jump and start the fight for EG, they have to be very careful with how they respond. That time, the full Fiend script does the trick. If they can't get that off, it's not realistic to expect Fear to get these off consistently, so they need to have a different plan as well for how to deal with it. Now, in that fight, I don't think we saw it, but Arteezy, it's not the easiest thing in the world to play Monkey King against Earth Spirit, because Earth Spirit has three abilities that destroy the trees. The easiest one is Geomagnetic Grip, obviously. If you see him jumping into a tree, you can instantly Stone Pull, and he gets stunned for 4 seconds. That's something that makes... You know, sometimes you don't really think of it that way when you look at the game, because even if Arteezy never gets caught by it in the game, that doesn't mean it doesn't affect him, because it might impact how he feels like he can go. He will be in a worse position every fight, but not get caught, and then because of that, he doesn't get the best Monkey King ults. All of those things definitely add up over the course of a game. So
he has the advantage, at least, that
he has the Night Stalker vision.
Like, yeah, the Night Stalker restricts the vision of EG. Newbee have no flying vision, so even a good observer ward will make it difficult. But you're right, like, he doesn't know exactly like, if he did get scouted at by an observer board, if he pounces up on top of a tree, this will allow Kaka to play that reactionary style of game. And with initiating items starting to arrive in for Newbee, we don't have one yet over on SCCC. He's actually going to go for the Shadow Blade as his initiator and leave KP to have the Blink Dagger. Normally, too, Kaka will also go for his own Blink, so they'll still have the double Blinks.
Yeah.
But this makes life very difficult for EG's positioning, both Fear, but also, as you said, Arteezy. So that's where the Night Stalker is meant to help. Is this actually one of the games, too, where you think about changing the build on crit? I don't know if you want to get Ags or not.
It's an awkward item to buy for Night Stalker just because of how expensive it is, and the build-up doesn't really offer him much. So until you have that full 4.2k, it's like getting a little bit of extra health on Night Stalker is actually very inconsequential compared to a lot of other heroes, because Night Stalker in the first place doesn't want to run in and be in the center of the fight and tank damage. He wants to play the outskirts, he wants to consistently silence and void heroes, and catch off supports. So I generally don't like the Ags build on Night Stalker anymore. The way the heroes played, it makes way more sense to go for what he's doing right now. Solar Crest type of build.
So put the
Pipe
money...
is also amazing this game. It looks like they don't have any plan of getting that. But Newbee has recovered well. Let's look at that, because they were 4k behind, I think, about 10 minutes ago, and now they've managed to pull it back to about 2. They have their key items, and this is when we get to see whether EG can put together the kind of team fight that they need. Because now with Newbee having the tools, I just flat out favor them in fights.
Yep.
EG might have to try to play a little bit of a split, or at least get a really good jump because of Night Stalker vision.
Do you wonder too if this game is going to go down the same road as their matchup with Team Secret did, where you're like, okay, this game, if it goes longer, like, we're out. So you need to push now. You use Universe's Pugna to force down the lanes and try and get into the fights.
I think this time it's not as black and white as the EG game or the Secret game was. That it was just fairly obvious that EG's late game was worse. In this game, they definitely have a fighting chance, even if it goes very late.
Moogie, it's such bait.
Good Nightmare.
Yeah, it's going to start it off. Maybe Crit showing himself out. KP will jump in. They trigger the Nether Ward. A lot of damage, but already they delete the Night Stalker. But the 3-man stun from Arteezy. Newbee need to get out of this one, but they don't have the Stampede. Fiend Script, they tried to make him get invis and try and protect SCCC, but it will not be enough. And KP's in way too deep. The Lich ulti bouncing around. Will it come back up again? Again, no. It gets absorbed by the creep wave. Samal is a double kill. It's a great 3-man kick silence with the G-Magnet grip, and Fear magnetizes, slowly bringing him down. The following kick, they're creating more and more space, but Samal still has the triple kill. Kaka will rolling boulder TP away. Moogie so low. Samal goes in for the ultra kill under the tier 3 tower. And Newbee, they willingly went in, but they'll regret the decision.
That was such a long fight, and they never used Sonic Wave. I think he got silenced twice by the Earth Spirit, and in the end he's just like, didn't need it. So, nice fight by EG. I think what's important in that fight is that the way the Centaur engages, using Stampede and blinking in first. Oh, hang on, Universe, you're kind of alone here.
Yeah, there's no friends nearby, so rolling boulder forward, Kaka can keep up the chase because he now has his own blink dagger. But KP, he doesn't actually connect to Decrepify. The Sonic Wave that wasn't used before is now able to seal the doom of the Centaur. Kaka will fall down as well, like dominoes. Newbee are dying. Faith has to come back into the front lines, TPing in, but now Decrepify, the blast, the drain. There isn't enough regeneration in the world to protect you there, Dragon Knight.
Next level bait. He was completely alone. If he got stumped by Centaur there, he would have just died, but just barely outranged it. The support came in and it turned into 3 kills.
Arteezy's now returned the Nightmare Faith under the tower with the blast. They can see him now thanks to the dust, so the Glimmer Cape doesn't protect him enough. But they're backing up PG. They claim the tier 3 tower, and that's only 23 minutes in.
EG really pushed an advantage right there. I think you need to remember in this moment that it was Newbee who chose to take the fight. When they jumped in with the Centaur in the first place and single hero stunned, I believe it was a Night Stalker he jumped on in the beginning of that fight. And they used Stampede and all of them ran in, but that's not the way you play against Monkey King. You can't just just bum rush in 3 heroes into a Wukong's command. So what happens is they jump on this Night Stalker, Arteezy gets a 3-man stun, cast his ulti, and Newbee have to run. But they kind of stuck around in the ring still, like they were playing around in there. Dragon Knight was tanking the Wukong's command for like 10 seconds.
And all of them were taking the Nether Ward as well. That
you can't expect to win a fight like that. That is just not going to work. That's why I would have liked the Dragon Knight to have a Blink Dagger, so he can jump in first, and Centaur and Earth Spirit can be the follow-ups. The Shadow Blade is an alternative, but I believe he has to lead the charge. If they just blink solo stun with Centaur, Centaur will die.
Yeah, but now we're reaching the point too where EG's getting so far ahead that the supports are able to afford a large amount of sentry wards and perhaps even a gem sometime soon.
Oh, Fear looks like he might be thinking about this top. Hey, this is a dead centaur.
Yep,
It's completely
Nightmare.
alone.
And Samel's nearby. RTC gets a slap down, crits in the neighborhood too, and Newbee understand. Again, KP slightly out of position, and EG capitalize.
This is EG's part of the map.
Look at the kill streaks as well. It's all going the way of just Samel and Universe.
Mid lane, pucked up.
Yep, they're able to delete him, but here comes Fear as well as RTZ, the Fiend script, keeping that control on the Bloodseeker. The kick flies through, it will miss on Fear. The damage is done, however, Mugi has already fallen, so SCCC and Kaka can run away while RTZ picks up the double kill, picking off Faith next to that tier 2 tower. Samel wants to keep chasing, not a lot of mana to work with, however, so a straight TP in from Newbee, they will be able to escape, but 2 heroes are the only things that survive after trying, like, when you get the pick up on Universe, you end his killing spree. So that's nice, at least. Trying to look at the bright side for it. Like, you got Kaka who got, it was even Kaka who got the kill on Universe. Got 717 gold for it.
That is his blink, right?
He already had
Oh,
the
he had it
blink.
before. He's going Blade Mail. Okay.
Wait, really?
Yeah, it's a pretty good build on Earth Spirit.
Most of the time
Actually,
he goes for the Blink and Yule Scepter.
That's also good. It's like merits. I think most of the time you go Blink into Blade Mail, Yules, or Ags. In this game, he probably feels like he just has to commit in. Like, somebody's going to start the fight, Kaka will follow up, cast all his spells in Blade Mail, and be in the center of the fight. And if he gets hit, deal some extra damage. If not, he'll get some more stones down.
So how does Newbee now approach the game? Like, we've done the whole passive kind of counter initiation, then we've seen them go full tilt at EG and continuously lose fights. Both options are not working. What's plan C?
I still don't think they've had a proper jump. I think that's the problem. I still think
So a better plan B? As in the same plan B?
you definitely need to jump. You need to engage the fights. And if that was the plan B, then yeah, do your plan B better. Again, I'm still looking at SC to get the key engage for Newbee, where he finds a core from his Shadow Blade, jumps that guy, and the rest of the team follow through. And maybe they save the Stampede a little bit. Like, KP blows every single Stampede pretty much in the beginning of the fight for his team to catch up. And then they don't have it to reset out of the Monkey ult. That's why Centaur is a good pick against Monkey, is that everybody can get away.
This could be nice for him. The Dire Scan just connected. It was connecting only on the Bane. But they think it was around near the Ancients, so they don't have the greatest vision up the hill. And they don't want to go into it. The Observer Ward now sees Fear sitting in the trees. But if Fear's sitting there in the trees, it looks more like EG are baiting Newbee to come in forward once again.
And this is a result of them just not having much map. They have a Dragon Knight, and they've taken 1 tower minute 27. That is just flat out not good.
Yeah.
You want to have taken all the tier 1s at this point, ideally, maybe even a couple of tier 2s.
They are buying time, though.
Roshan.
Mugi's almost got that. In fact, now he has the BKB for the fight.
It's a good item. It's going to help. Obviously, that's not the hero that Fear has been gripping. The majority of the fights, I believe it's been Dragon Knight.
It was only in the last fight he gripped Mugi.
Yep. So now he's their only BKB piercing spell, except Sonic Wave. So now he can at least guarantee that he can run in and hit people. I still don't think he's strong enough to fight in the Wukong's command very long. But if he can fight outside of that and pick off a couple of heroes on the side, that's good. But that is like perfect timing for Shiva's guard right now. Just
28.
tanking up on the Queen.
And
Such a hard kill.
And he cracks level 20, so the plus 300 health talent now in for Samael.
He just got like twice as hard to kill in this last minute. Shiva plus health talent does a lot for him.
And they don't even have like a heavy source of damage. Like we were talking about having someone like a sniper who could be then that glass cannon if you can create space for him. But now, Newbee, they have to brute force this out. They have a sentry ward down. They'll see crit, looking for a quick
instant
stun, but the
silence.
silence. There's no follow-up. The Nightmare's on Kaka. They'll turn it off him, and there it is again. They use the Stampede to initiate. And once again, it's one of the supports of EG who'll be picked up before Arteezy jumps in, looking for his pick, but silenced up. Kick from Kaka, catches 3, but is there a follow-up? The Magnetize will turn on for the moment, and into the Wukong's command. Newbee, they kind of have to bow out this one. They've already lost faith. KP, the Hoof Stomp is there. Expendable. Like, nothing but expendable right now. Let him die. SCC, he's thinking about coming back in for Arteezy. With the help of Mugi, they can do it. Enough of them were low enough that they can take the fight in the better position.
I didn't like the... So, EG were in a position there to just cut their losses and be like, okay, they used Dragon Form and they killed our Bane. And then this Primal Spring from RTC kind of put their team on the spot. I wonder if we're going to see it here.
Yep.
So this is actually after he has Primal Springed in, and now they get... What ends up happening is that he jumps in to the middle of 3 heroes. He's completely forced to just use his ultimate and stand his ground here. And he is getting more or less solo killed by Earth Spirit. He can't move. He's ruptured. He gets all of Earth Spirit spells dumped on him like 3 or 4 times in a row, and eventually ends up dying. So it becomes a 2 for 2, which, given the conditions, isn't the worst thing in the world for EG, but they could have just lost a Bane and taken a 0-1 instead. And I think that's overall better when you're this far ahead. So... yeah, they're looking to try for Roche. This has been one of the banes for EG in this tournament, has been going for Roshan and getting destroyed there. They've got to have some... yeah, they're trying to fake it.
They're jumping forward.
Oh, that's a good grip!
That grip up the hill! Moogie gets deleted. Kaka tried to help out, but he gets slapstick down by Arteezy. A rolling boulder gives him some distance, but not from Samael. The blink allows him to close that, and they look for more. Arteezy springing down on top of Faith. 3 heroes from Newbee, all in the grave for 40 seconds without buyback available. Evil Geniuses can now push down mid, which it looks like they're going to, but Roshan is still an option as well after the tier 2.
I like how EG did that. See, the EG of the first day of the group stage would have probably tried to kill that Roshan, but instead they go to Roshan, they poke it a little bit, try to get a read on the map, realize that Newbee are missing, they back off, smoke, and then Fear gets this perfect Fiend's Grip onto that Bloodseeker, and they kill him off right in the beginning of the fight, and then that fight's just over. And they get a couple of exit kills as well, 3 kills, tier 2 tower and Roche. This is a very, very impactful play they just pulled off.
Yeah, this is the advantage they really want to have, pushing it over 10,000. The experience graph's going to crack around 12,000 for Evil Geniuses, and it's only going to continue to rise as Newbee still reeling from this early game of Evil Geniuses with no way to really stop that momentum. We've talked about initiation, we've talked about EG getting picked off, called out. Maybe they can do it now that Kaka has his Blade Mail. Now that you actually have a Blink 4 staff on the Centaur, not always having to rely on the Stampede to go in, but even when they go in, they need to catch someone from EG away from the pack. So the only choice is Smoke Gank. The Radiant Scan is there. Does it ping in time? It does. EG, the warning bell starts to ring in the church, and Arteezy already breaks the smoke, sitting on the tree.
There it
kick
is.
him down. Kaka, the 4 seconds done. The Bane Nightmare, however, cancelling off with a Lich Frost. It wants to bounce through. The Magnetizer's turned on. Bane will go down. Arteezy will follow it. Remember, he's got the Aegis the Immortal, so he'll be back to the world of the living, and they're looking for more. Moogie was on crit, who's ruptured up, kept out the fight. The Sonic Wave from Samael. It barely reaches out far enough, but it is enough. Moogie has fallen down, and now with the Shiva's Guard, Samael slowing down Faith. No way for Kaka to really keep running away from this, and Faith, he doesn't stand a chance. He goes invis, but Dust was already on him. Newbee lose 3 again, and all they claim is 1 of the EG lives.
Crucially, just that Monkey King was 100% dead, but having the Aegis there gives EG enough in the tank to get that fight. And that we got to see it there. The Geomagnetic Grip, they broke their smoke. Kaka took a wild guess where Arteezy could be sitting in a tree. He guessed right. Got the 4-second stun that set up that fight. But the Aegis is enough.
Yep.
EG keep pressing the advantage now. Dragon Form's about to end.
That Bane Nightmare as well, I think, kind of messed with their initiation. Like Arteezy fell down. The Bane Nightmare was there! Oh boy! Oh, SCCC, you know when you can't survive that, you're not going to survive long in this game as an entire team. This game has a clock and it may only be 1 minute if Newbee can't do something about it. Evil Geniuses may have burned the Aegis the Immortal, but they've taken down 2 tier 3 towers. The top lane is pushing in, and you're going to Pugna, as we saw, pumping out a crap ton of damage, and they're going to look to do more, looking to bring down this mid-racks. Newbee. Oh, that
Great
slap! At the perfect time when KB was jumping in into the Wukong's command. The Shiva's Guard and Dagon again from Samael. This is just his day. More heroes from Newbee. They understand this game is over. Evil Geniuses claim game 1. In a convincing and no momentum breaking game.
Yeah, I thought that after EG had that 4K lead and they started losing a bit of the grip, that it was going to become a problematic game for them, but then they took that one great fight top lane where they gained themselves an extra 6K advantage, took the tower, got some key items, and